So that's funny because I think when you see City's the facial expressions when they're leaving the field at the end of the game, you could tell. You could tell they were like, "Fuck,
Yeah,
we didn't
yeah,
get the cushion we needed to go back to the Bernabeu because we know the Bernabeu is just going to be completely different and they're going to make their run there." And you could see it on the reaction of Guardiola every time City failed to score one of those the million chances they had.
yeah,
You could
yeah,
see his frustration because he knew like we need at least a 2-goal lead going back to
yeah,
this place. And
yeah,
and it's funny because like I think there is definitely a mental aspect. I agree with you. And even at 2-0, I actually felt the same way that I was like, yeah, we're still in this. There's going to be a moment in this game where we settle and we breathe, and then there's going to be some individual brilliance. And I wasn't 100% sure, but I just knowing this team, I was like, I wasn't as dejected at 2-0 as it was, as some other people were. But I will say it was bad. It was really bad. And even after the 2-0, the defensive problems never got solved. And Ancelotti said after the game, you know, I agree with him on this aspect. He said that we wanted an open game. And I think that's right. I think an open game and the chaos suits Real Madrid in this particular situation because City don't want chaos. They want control. They want things to be calm. And we just want Vinicius to just do a dummy behind Fernandinho and just run the length of the field, right? And that's the kind of thing. So Ancelotti said we wanted an open game, but he said we can't if we defend the way we did in the first leg, we're out in the second leg. He straight up said that, and I think, I think we can start with the video analysis, Ed, actually, because there's a goal in literally the first minute, and a lot of these defensive issues we can actually tackle as we were breaking down the film. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to start with this goal that Kevin De Bruyne scores right away. And I think one of the things that I just want to highlight as I'll press play here and let this run, Kevin De Bruyne is right here. He is the goal scorer, and he's the one who's going to score. And this is the same exact thing that Mason Mount did to us. And I was like, this is going to be a problem because City are even better than Chelsea at this one thing. And I think the confusion here is between, I know Carvajal got a lot of shtick for this goal too, and rightfully so. But I also think if you rewind this one, Ed, you look at Fede Valverde and where he is in this play.
yeah,
And he's constantly telling Carvajal, like, I think you need to, look, he's right here. He's pointing to Carvajal, watch him. But the problem is Carvajal's already watching someone at the far post. I think it's Foden. And Fede has to recognize that he can't just assign Carvajal a second player on the fly. And also there's everything else that happens in the build-up where Ferland Mendy gets beat too easily.
yeah.
I also agree with you. I don't think Mendy and Alaba were fit. And Alaba clearly wasn't because Ancelotti even said it after the game.
Yeah, that's why he got replaced. And we know that when Mendy comes back from injury, I mean, he needs to be 100% fit to play the way he plays. Whenever he's not 100%, you can tell. But look at this. Carvajal goes deep, and then it's Militão takes 2 steps forward just to throw the line, and Carvajal doesn't see that. And that's what kills us, because Militão doesn't get into the way of the cross, and then Carvajal gets caught behind. And we obviously we didn't play well with crosses. You were tweeting about this. Cross cannot play there, not only in the low block, but also in the high block. If we do high press, it's impossible. He doesn't have the fitness anymore. He doesn't cover as much ground as what the ground that a player in his position at top level should cover. So
I think the point also, like with him specifically, is that he can't be the guy that you rely on to be the defensive savior of this thing. You know, it's like when the entire back line is falling apart, it's chaotic. Everyone is out of position. No one's defending well. And the guy who's supposed to be the safety net, the blanket around this defense is Kroos. You're really in a terrible position. And I was thinking, like, there was a 5-minute stretch in the first half where I felt like Kroos actually looked good. And it was a very brief spell where Real Madrid actually had control of the ball and they had possession. But other than that, it was really difficult for him. Second half was a little bit better. I thought actually the team just settled a little bit in the second half, although it wasn't perfect. But what is the solution, really? I mean, when Casemiro's not in the team and you're used to playing this way, Camavinga's not really that guy either, although he brings great energy off the bench and does so many good things. I do think, like, to me, the solution could have been you do take that burden off of Kroos a little bit, put him higher up the pitch, form a double pivot with Modric and either Camavinga or Fede, and have those guys do some more of the defensive work so that Kroos can be just focused on getting the ball up the field and advancing the ball and getting the ball.
Or you can have a line with Kroos and Valverde helping out Kroos, because you need Kroos closer to the ball just to get us going. So if you give him a position farther down the pitch, I'm not sure he's going to be. We're going to lose what he does best, which is long pass, short pass, long pass, short pass. Move the team around, move the other defense from one place to another. So I would probably 4-2-3-1 would make more sense, but Ancelotti never plays that. He has never done that, because you could play with Valverde doing more of the running and Kroos doing more of the ball management, and then have three up front with Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Modric, for instance, and then Benzema leading the line. But Carleto plays 4-3-3 pretty much in every single match. But I'm relieved that I saw that Camavinga has become first option of the bench, and Ceballos is also playing as well, and he did well today. It was a very, very difficult moment to join the match, and we needed ball control, and he did very well. I mean, he looked impressively composed. He took some risks with the ball and did well, and he helped out. So we have more options now to play, and Carleto has openly said that Ceballos is doing really well now.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see. Obviously, on the weekend, I'm getting ahead of myself, but we'll see heavy rotations in the weekend. So we will get a rested lineup, I believe, for the next match. And we do have more options off the bench than we did 3-4 months ago, which is also good, because the second match is going to be extremely intense. And if Carleto wants to replace people and have time, he should do so, because there's not going to be a second of peace next Wednesday.
I'm laughing because I can already feel my heart beating faster thinking about the second line. I can already feel the heart attacks. I'm getting anxiety thinking about what it's going to be like sitting through that one. So at that moment, how were you feeling at 3-1? Were you still confident? I felt like if we went down 3 goals, I would have been worried. But at 2 goals, I was like, we still got this.
Yeah. I wasn't desperate. I was just more frustrated than desperate. I thought, come on, we're just digging us a hole, just free of charge. It's terrible.
So this is the moment,
and this is just an unbelievable play.
Yeah,
unbelievable play.
How do I
to go that fast for so long and have the coolness to score with that last touch, which wasn't easy at all. I was thinking that he does this dummy very often, but he rarely gets a lot of profit out of it. I was thinking of that last weekend, because what happens usually is that he gets the defender with a yellow because the defender sees that he's lost Vinicius and tries to foul him badly. But I don't think he's actually pulled this trick and scored at the end until now. This is an unbelievable, unforgettable goal.
You're right. It's one of those
madness. Yes.
To pull this off is first of all, to actually pull the dummy off is really difficult to do, because defenders for the most part will either hack that player down. I mean, in hindsight, if you're a City fan watching this, Fernandinho should have just clocked him, taken his legs out. I'm glad that didn't happen, but that's probably what should have happened if you're a City fan. But he just keeps going and going and going, and I thought he was just going to run out of room at some point, and he kind of did, but at the right moment, he shot it.
I thought so too.
Maybe Ederson should have come off his line more. Did this I don't know if anyone else felt this way, but this kind of reminded me of Bale versus
Bale in the final. Yes. Yeah. Only Pinto did a lot worse than Ederson.
Yeah. I was hoping that this moment would fuel Vinicius as like, okay, this is the moment where he just goes crazy for the rest of the game. He has confidence now, but I felt actually that didn't happen. You know, this was
it gave him too much confidence, and he tried too many silly stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, he should have shared the ball more and tried to find another occasion in space rather than him dribble all the time.
Yeah,
that was a shame.
So the first one is about Casemiro, right? Are we worried about his press resistance in the second leg? It's a good question. Look, I think I'm at a stage now, and I've been probably driving the train of we need to find a solution that's not Casemiro, because our Champions League exits have all have the same theme. But I gotta admit, I'm wrong on a few levels there, because I was wrong on a few levels there, because Real Madrid don't play a system that could take advantage of, like, let's say if you threw Rodri or Busquets into this Real Madrid team, I don't think they would look good to the extent that they look good in their respective teams, because we just don't have a system where you could thrive with that kind of defensive midfielder. The way Real Madrid plays, we need people to put out fires, and Casemiro would put out fires. He has been putting out fires for years. The problem is he's just not perfect. And if you had this Casemiro, this exact version, his ability to win the ball at an absolute elite level, but just made him a little bit better with the ball at his feet, he'd be a perfect defensive midfielder, but he's not. So I think if we had a chance to move away from the way we play and use a better player on the ball, but with this current squad that we have right now, I'm actually looking forward to having Casemiro back for the second leg, because we need, one, his aerial presence in the box, and also how many free runs did we have in the box today from City players? It was just like clockwork over and over and over again. Every single City attack was just wide open players in the box, just kept murdering us. And there's that. So there's that. I don't think it's so black and white. Listen, we beat PSG in the second leg without Casemiro too. But look at the context of how we did it. It's when Camavinga entered the pitch and we just went into just assassination mode and PSG melted. So I think it really depends on how you're playing, what the state of the game is. That all that matters when we're talking about whether Casemiro makes sense, like what the cost-benefit analysis is. His cost-benefit analysis sometimes is going to be good, other times it's going to be in negative. And I think given the way that City was murdering us, and in this case, I think he would have been a positive.
Nice article in the Managing Madrid blog. Wonderful lads that do a great job there, and worth reading about that man there. Karim Benzema needs to rest, and the numbers reveal why.
Times ended up almost looking like a 6-3-1. Some very good writing about that on the Managing Madrid website. First-rate podcast as well. Of course, Fede Valverde was a huge part of the